Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplacedstraws.com, where music comes to life. And my guest today is really one of the great voices in rock. We last spoke about a year ago when he put out his first record as the voice of Sunstorm. You may know him from Lords of Black, The Ferrymen, Michael Schenker, and of course, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. But he's back now with his first ever solo record called Raised on Radio. Please welcome Ronnie Romero. Welcome, Ronnie.
Hello, thank you.
So Raised on Radio, it's a covers record with a twist in that there's some pretty deep cuts on it. And we'll get into the individual tracks in a minute. But you've always been a band guy. You know, we kind of just listed all the bands you've played with. Why decide to branch out and do a solo record now?
Well, actually, it was an idea from my record label because they were chasing me for the last 2 years to make a solo album, and honestly, I was not too much into the idea. I always thought that when a singer makes a solo album out of his band is because first of all, he got a long career already. And that makes that he's a kind of a bored of the music he's doing, so he wants to try something different. I thought, okay, I'm just starting my career. I'm not bored about the things that I do, because actually I'm doing a lot of different things that makes me, fulfill my musical interest. So I didn't thought to make a solo record will bring something new and something, different to the fans. So I was not too much into the idea, but then Serafino, he came with this idea on the table that why while you wait and decide to make a solo record, while you just make a covers album. And I was like, okay, that would be an idea because I never did before. And I was doing covers for the last few years, with Rainbow, Michael Schenker, Vandenberg, and many others. So it looks like my main job was to make covers anyway. So
well, and I think it fits too, along with the idea, as you said, a lot of singers do it when they're bored in their regular things. I think by doing a covers record, it's different than if you're taking some of the best songs that you've been working on and doing them yourself outside of a band. So I think this is kind of a good sort of introduction to going solo.
It could be because also it's not the typical covers album that you make just because, to entertain the people, to do something different. It has a real meaning behind, because as you mentioned at the beginning, the track list is different. It's not the typical track list. I put all the songs are the songs that the people, they wouldn't expect me to sing, actually. It's not, I know that people expect me to sing Rainbow and The Purple and Dio and everything. So I was thinking, if I'm going to do this, I really want to surprise the people in the way that I'm going to sing songs that the people, they wouldn't expect. And second, it must be songs that present a challenge for me to sing. Because when you sing Dio or when you sing Rainbow, I did that many times. The people say that my vocal is kind of similar to Dio, so it's not challenging, So for me, this track list and this album is very challenging, because actually there is some songs that doesn't fit my vocal style at all.
Well, and it's interesting because, again, Dio is the big one, because you've done Rainbow, you've sung a lot of Dio songs in your career, but on this record you go back to Elf with just a great version of Carolina Country Ball. It's just such a fun song to start with, and you add so much to it. How hard was it to find a Dio song for you to sing that people would not expect, because this is the perfect choice?
I mean, every song it was very, very easy to decide to put it on the track list, because I can tell you that every song is related with the memory of, even from my childhood. There is no songs in the album that I just picked it up because, or maybe because this is gonna fit, or it's not a filler or something like that. Every song is related with a memory, because I took this album as a tribute of all the people that I work with and all the bands that I was listening since I was a kid. Especially I have a lot of memories with my father, rest in peace, because he was a huge fan of the classic American rock bands. So that's why you can see Grand Funk Railroad, and you can see Journey, and you can Journey of Kansas, you can see Survivor and Foreigner, you know, because they were the bands that I was listening since I was a kid. And in the Dio case, it was very easy because I love that Dio era before Rainbow. It was such a more clean and melodic singer. For me, it was when he joined Rainbow, and then in his solo career, he turned into more a kind of a heavy metal singer, more raspy, more, you know, more aggressive. But the Elf albums are so enjoyable for the musicians. You know, in my case, I enjoyed too much listening Dio before Rainbow. So I have the records actually. So when I was deciding which song to play, I said, okay, it's gonna be Elf for sure. So I was between Carolina County Bowl from the Carolina County Bowl album, or Happy from the previous record, because it was more challenging. And so, but anyway, Carolina County Bowl is one of my favorites, and also the people, they can watch in my social. I posted a video like a year ago with my guitar playing the song, you know, with my fiance singing, and I am singing, you know, because it's one of my favorite songs. So it's, and I have a lot of memories with that. So it was very easy when they say, okay, it's going to be Dio, it's going to be Elf, which song? This one.
Yeah, and you mentioned Kansas, and two tracks I want to bring up on the record. You cover Play the Game Tonight from Kansas, one of my all-time favorite songs. I mean, that was, you know, when I was a kid, that was like the first Kansas song I heard that got me into them when it came out. And then you also do No Smoke Without a Fire from Bad Company. And the cool thing about those two songs is, I mean, they were both big songs, but it's not the singer that the band is known for. It's not Paul Rodgers, it's not Steve Walsh, you know, Brian Howe and John Elefante. Was that sort of, okay, I'm kind of going off the beaten path with those two bands, or did it just happen that way?
Absolutely. I mean, Kansas is one of my favorite bands ever. No, I mean, there's not too much people they know this, but Kansas is very actually related to my childhood, because my father, as I told you before, he was a huge fan of Kansas. And even when Steve Walsh is one of my, I always tell to the people when they ask me for my top 5, top 10 singers, I always mention Steve Walsh is one of my favorite. And also I can say that I sang a Kansas song in my graduation in school when I was 18 years old. You know, so it's very related to my life. But then I thought at the beginning I was thinking to make a song from the Power album.
I love that record.
Yeah, and it's more rock, you know, it could fit better to my vocal style. But then I thought, Elefante is such a underrated singer, you know. So I really want to make some justice to the singer he was, and still he is, you know. And I say, okay, this is gonna be perfect because it's a great song, and he was a great singer, and there is not too much people they know actually this album, this specifically song. And the same with Brian Howe, you know, it's everybody relate Bad Company with Paul Rodgers, which is great. You know, actually Paul Rodgers is a favorite singer for Richie Blackmore. I mean, he's his favorite singer ever. And but then I say, okay, Brian, he was such a great singer, and he had this great song that fit perfectly with my vocal style. And I believe if I put this song without saying that it's a cover song, the people will really believe that I wrote the song because it fit perfectly with my vocal style.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that I think that song's probably the highlight of the record for me, because like I say, it's just a perfect fit, you know, with your voice. But the cool thing, I think, when you go with a lot of deep cuts is, at least for me, having grown up with these songs as well, there were a couple songs where I heard your version, I'm like, God, I love that song. I haven't heard it in years. Exactly. And that's, you know, voices.
I really want to relate the fans and the people who is listening the record with my feeling as a fan of music. You know, so I really, it happens the same to me when I'm listening a song. in the radio or in all records, it's like, oh, how much I love this song, you know, how much I love this, how much I love that. When I listen to a song in the radio from Survivor, for example, it's like, oh, I love this song, you know. I really wanted the people to have the same feeling listening to this record. Like, it's not the typical thing. Everybody expects, oh, okay, this guy's gonna sing, for example, Survivor. He's gonna sing "Eye of the Tiger," you know, because everybody knows "Eye of the Tiger." But I really wanted to have this feeling like, oh, I love this song. I remember, you know, and to bring a memory as I did. So that's the main reason.
Yeah, for me, your cover of Voices did that, because I don't remember the last time I heard that song, and then once I heard your version, you know, you just think back to all the times that song was playing in the past. So it was very cool to hear. And you also have the classic rock, you know, segment of the record, Grand Funk Railroad, and again, you go deep with Sin's a Good Man's Brother. But the two at the end, All Along the Watchtower and Since I've Been Loving You. I mean, Since I've Been Loving You shows what you can do with your voice. But that reworking of All Along the Watchtower, it's completely different from, there's so many versions of that song, but you found a way to make it something new. How did that arrangement come about?
Actually, it was an idea from Alessandro, the producer, Alessandro Del Vecchio. And I told him, okay, we're gonna do this song because it's one of my favorite. Actually, I was thinking on the Jimi Hendrix version first, because my fiance and I, we are kind of a freaky fans of Jimi Hendrix, and we are all the time listening All Along the Watchtower, and we're watching movies about Jimi Hendrix, and every time when we are, you know, sign any city, and there is a, you know, like a poster of Jimi Hendrix, we buy it, and we have a lot of posters in the wall. And so we thought, okay, I really want to do this one, but I don't want to go, because the original song is from Bob Dylan, and then it's Jimi Hendrix doing the version. There's many other versions, so we really want to. I really need to do something totally different in this case, in this specific case, not in the other songs, because the other songs were not too much covered. But this specific song, it was too much covered before, so I said, okay, we need to do something different. And Ale came with this more metal idea, and for me it was perfect. And also because I brought for this specific song on the guitars, the guitar player is a Chilean guy, he's a friend of mine, and he's the guy who we put our first band together when we were 14 years old. You know, and we were playing that song together when we were teenagers. So I called the guy and I said, listen, I'm doing a solo record with covers, and I'm gonna play this song, and I want you to play this song with us, because I think it's gonna be a tribute as well as to my beginnings. So that's the reason.
I'll tell you, it takes guts to take a song like that and just completely take it apart and redo it. So I give you a ton of credit, and it works. It's a fun
we were
song.
finger crossed that the people like it.
Yeah, and you know, you're always busy. We talked about all the other bands you're working with. The Michael Schenker record will be out soon.
Yeah.
I talked with Robin McCauley a couple of weeks ago, and he said how he's filling in for you on the European leg. Will you be back fronting Michael's band on the US tour in the fall?
Yeah, I will be with Michael in the States on the fall.
And of course, you know, we mentioned Rainbow and, you know, just the icon that Richie is. And I know that's been fairly quiet for a while, but have you heard from Richie at all in the past year or so? Anything going on with that you can talk about?
And I mean, we normally keep in contact, not very often, because obviously Richie is a very isolated person. But I don't think there's going to be any plan in the near future, because the pandemic, it was way complicated for obviously for all the music business, and now it's like everything is getting back to normal, but delayed 2 years. So, you know, there is a lot of shows happening, and then it's until it get completely back to normal, it's going to happen at least a couple of years. So I think Richie is not too much into the idea to make anything so far, and he's focused right now with the Blackmore's Night. They released an album recently, I think. So I don't think it's there is no plan so far. We were not informed about any plan, so waiting for, with Richie, you never know. Maybe maybe in a couple of days he's gonna come with an idea, or you never know. You never know.
And back to the solo record, and you have to ask, it's called Raised on Radio, but Raised on Radio's not on it. Were you working up a version of that song, or did you just like the title?
No, it was the title only. I mean, we thought about to make a Journey song, but the thing is, I did Journey covers in the past with Lords of Black. Actually, we have two covers. One is Edge of the Blade, and the other one is Faithfully. So I thought, okay, I did it already, so it made more sense to fill the space with something that I never did before.
And now that you kind of tipped your toe into the water of a solo record, do you think that you'll do, kind of a more official solo record with original material at some point in the future? Or is it, okay, I got this done, I'm going back to my bands now?
No, actually the plan is this Raised on Radio is a volume 1. Very soon it's going to be a volume 2 called Raised on Heavy Radio. So as you can imagine, it's going to be covers, but more heavy metal. So you will have more Judas Priest, Ingrid Malmsteen, Black Sabbath, Tony Martin era, Manowar, that kind of things. And then the plan is to go. Actually, we are working already on the original songs with my band. So the plan is to have these 3 records, 2 covers, 1 original songs, and then to go on tour as Ronnie Romero. Obviously supporting mainly the original songs, but playing some covers as well.
Awesome. Can't wait for that. And I love that you threw in it's Tony Martin era, because that's my favorite Black Sabbath.
The Shining, it's like,
God, I love those records, and just talk about those all day. So we've been spending some time here with Ronnie Romero. The record is called Raised on Radio. It's a fun, just a great summer record of covers, and you do a great job. The record's out everywhere April 15th on Frontiers. Ronnie, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, and I look forward to the next project when we can have another conversation about it.
Of course, it will be my pleasure. I just wanted to say to the people that just put the record on your car and enjoy the songs. Don't think about the philosophy of the covers and the cover bands and the original song. Just put the record and enjoy it, because I think it's a great record to enjoy in the car, in the summer, in the beach, whatever you want.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better. Thanks a lot, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.